All right, my friends, good morning. Happy Saturday. Only positivity here. Ready to kick off. It might be, I don't even know, dude, maybe 120 something. On this place that I'm looking to launch called Elevated Thoughts. So before diving into the topic of the day, let's go and start with the level set. So as I endeavor upon pursuing knowledge and life experience in this next phase of life through fitness, photography, cannabis, traveling, reading, golf, many more things. One habit that I've really formed, like I said, is travel. So this podcast essentially goes through some of my more recent travels, taking those lessons learned and applying them to experiences in my life. So I'm actually headed to the golf course today, and I have my headphones in one ear here. So let's see if it sounds good, and we'll just see if this is an opportunity. You know, it's like I got 30 minutes to get to the course, probably like 25, 30 to get to the course, so maybe we could run it down. But anyway, had an amazing time last night. So one of my buddies came through, and we were supposed to podcast, man, but we ended up, we were like laughing and giggling, and we were just like, you could tell we were just really excited to see each other. We ended up getting a little too down the yard. Just got a little too stony. And my boy just kind of like passed out on me, but that's okay, you know, it's all good. He didn't pass out, actually. I think he was just a little too stoned to fucking hop on a podcast, but it be happening. But one thing you can't deny is that we were fucking laughing till our stomachs hurt yesterday, man. We were fucking like just like knee slapping, pushing each other down. We were just fucking like, we were like giggling like I haven't giggled in a while. So to me, that is all worth it, my dude. You know, it's like, the podcasting stuff, it's silly, it's secondary, maybe. But, you know, it's, how do I put it? If I was, like, pissed about the podcast, I wouldn't have been able to have such a good night. You know what I mean? And so, to me, like, once I realized that we're probably not going to do it, I was like, you know what? Let's just, like, have fun tonight. That's, like, the baseline. I just want to have a good time with the boys today. And that's what we did, dude. And so... but everyone was safe, everyone Ubered, nobody drove, so I was at my place, so it didn't really matter for me, but it ended up being a really fun night, and it just goes to show, dude, you like leave yourself open to an experience, and a good experience could come your way, you know, something that you didn't even expect. Another thing is, like, so yesterday was Friday, right, so I've been going to yoga, but I've been going to, like, what they call, like, a vinyasa yoga and a power yoga. So both those are very, like, flow related. So you are moving through, you're doing a lot of holding poses, a lot of strength poses, so you're kind of sweating. I come out like drenched in sweat because, especially with the power yoga class, because you're doing a lot more like you know, strength type holds, you do end up getting very sweaty. But yesterday was this thing called restorative yoga, and then right away I walked in there, and not to take anything away from anybody that goes in there, right? Like they were just like some really old folk, and then some like really like, you know, bigger folk, right? More on the obese side of things. And that's just me describing to you what was going on there. You know what I'm saying? So allergies are fucking locked in, baby. But I got the Allegra going, so we fucking out here. So I go in there, and pretty much what I would describe it as is like an advanced sleeping class. Like you're doing all of these lay down poses, and honestly, it was amazing. Like, when do you get an hour of uninterrupted time to just close your eyes and, like, breathe and think? And she's guiding you through, making sure you're staying present the whole time. I will say that was the toughest part of that class for me. It was tough in a way that I didn't imagine, where I had trouble staying focused. And that's something to note, because there was a lot of times, like, when you're focused on your breathing, you're so in the moment. You're focused on the breath going in through your nostrils, and you're feeling it exhale through your mouth. But as we were laying there, we would hold these poses for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, my mind is wandering. I realize I'm clenching my jaw a little bit. Like I'm not doing the right slow breathing. And I kept having to come back to that. So that is something to notate as well. And I dragged one of my buddies there with me. And it was just funny, like our temperament when we got out. Like we were so still and so quiet and so reflective. Like, we were in the steam room just having deep-ass conversation. I'm like, bro, this is really heavy, like, what we're talking about for a steam room conversation, don't you think? But we were both just about it. You know, we were a little bit more with it, a little bit more present. And, dude, that made me really happy, man. That made me, like, be like, I'm going to go to this next week. And especially after, like, a tough week. Like, you know, Friday comes around, And, I generally work out. I do something every day. And so Friday comes around and I'm tired, man. My body is feeling it. So doing that restorative yoga class was awesome. And it totally was like, I was smiling. I was a little stony, so I was smiling a little bit because I was like, dude, I'm just like sitting here sleeping. This is funny. But, just came out feeling just refreshed. So I had a great night, man. Got to, get a good workout in, get the yoga class in, hang out with one of my good friends, get a little off the yard. Dude, it was just fucking beautiful, mate. But other than that, now this morning I'm going to go golf. I'm going to go slide by my mom's place later and help her fucking put together a desk and a chair. And she'll probably like make me some tea and some food. So that's wholesome as fuck too, honestly. So I'm just excited to go over there and then go scoop my wife from the airport. She's been gone for a few days with her friends out in Mexico. So hopefully we can sit down and talk about her trip. But, all the while, man, I did miss her. She was gone for like 4 days, bro. So I'm sitting at home like, what the fuck do I do, bro? But I did golf once during the week, so we fucking here, baby. But other than that, yeah, so I wanted to like get on today and record a little bit of our most recent trip out to Galena. So we went to Galena last year, and it was phenomenal. It was a trip for the books, and we were like, all right, so we'll run it back this year. But there was some courses that we wanted to play that I felt like we just weren't good enough for, and we could have rode it out. It would have been fine. But now that we're like a little bit better at golf, it's nice to go to a hard course and like not be totally pissed off about the situation, right? Because you go to a nice course sometimes, a challenging course, I'll say, and then if I've done that before. When I was in my first 2-3 months of golf, I was shitty as fuck, and I actually went to this really nice club called Bowes Creek, I believe, out in Elgin, and me and my friend, we just like pulled up there, like, dude, we were just like not ready for that, and like that course is tough, man. And so we were fucking losing golf balls left and right. We did not know how to act, we were just fucking stoned out on the course and being silly. And I actually went with like my wife's cousin, and that dude, he's a little older than me, and he just was fucking shaking his head at us the whole time. He's like, these motherfuckers, but we here either way, baby. Anyway, so we went to, now that we're a little better, we're like, we'll book some nice courses. So, my buddy's he's got a young kid, and so it's kind of hard for him to get away, which I totally understand. You have a small kid who needs a lot of attention, right? Like young kids, I realize need full. They can't do anything by themselves, right? You have to be on them. You have to watch them. They take a lot of management, a lot of oversight. So it's hard to be away, right? For a couple days, and then you miss your kid, right? You miss your kid. You want to be around them. So, anywho, we decided, all right, let's just do like a quick thing then, If not, me and just like, there's 3 of us, me and the other dude will just go, And so we hope to get him, for like 2 nights, 48-hour trip. And Galena is like a couple hours away, so it's like not bad at all, right? It's just a quick little thing. So we ended up locking that in and like early, right? It's like, hey, just get it on the books early, and then, as the time comes, we can make our adjustments because it's local, like I was saying, so there's no harm done. You can just essentially pull up 2 hours. It's a 2-hour drive. You just pull up and you're good to go. But other than that, so the day approaches, and my buddy says he has like because he travels a lot for work, he has like a lot of like points and stuff with Enterprise and all the rental car companies. So he pulled up in a Bronco, which was really nice. It was like, so I think there's like 3 tiers of Bronco. One's like a shitty one that I think is super ugly, and then the middle one is pretty decent. It's kind of like a Jeep Wrangler-esque kind of car, and then I think the Raptor is like the nicest one. And he pulled up in like the middle one, which was really cool, honestly. It was really nice to be able to like skirt around in that car all weekend. So he pulls up. It's like I go to the range in the morning. I get a little session in, and because like I was like leaving work early and stuff like that, I was like in my mind at the range. Like I couldn't really figure it out, But so I had a terrible fucking range session, and my wife, he was even like, dude, slow down, bro. Like you're going so fast. You're sending them fucking hard, bro. Just chill out. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right, but I hope I figure it out. You know what I mean? But it's all good. It's like one of those things where when I'm first going to the range, that's like kind of what it's for. You just like go there to like make contact with some golf balls and then fucking get out. That's like, I try to boil it down to that and have positive self-talk, But anyway, So we take a 2.5 hour drive out there, and we're just laughing, man. Like, you know, me and this group, like, we're like OG homies, so we have so many little inside jokes, and we can just honestly, we kind of just know what each other is thinking and everything like that, and it's awesome. And so on the way, we were trying to play like we're like, dude, should we just play a 9-hole course tonight since we all got out early? And everyone's like, yeah, dude, let's fucking do it. So I get online, I book up the fucking tee time while we're driving, and then we end up booking at 4:30 tee time, right? So we drive 2.5 hours, we're laughing, we're fucking kicking it, getting a little we pull up, get a little stone in the parking lot, right? Just hit the vape pen and jump into the course, right? And everyone's so nice at these courses. But so we get to the third hole, and we're playing decent now, right? And we realize, man, we're about to get a 9 in. It's a little surprise here. But then it starts fucking raining hard, dude. It starts fucking raining hard. And then we're like, fuck, we'll brave it out, but then it started lightning, you know? And then it was cold and raining sideways. We're like, fuck this, man. So then we go back to the clubhouse, and we see that the rain might pass over, right? And so the clubhouse is really nice. We're like, you know, we'll stay for a little bit in case you guys want to go out, right? And then, so it clears up, right? We see it clearing up. And then we go back out just to get fucking rained on again, dude. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, this is a wash, right? Fuck it. So we end up just dipping out. And we're like, you know, we're thanking everyone for being patient with us and allowing us to just chill there while we were like waiting for the rain to subside and shit. And then so we end up getting to back to the clubhouse. We pack up. We got to dry off, you know, do all that shit. Go home, check into the Airbnb real quick. And it was actually a nice Airbnb, like nicer than the one we stayed in last year. And it was a little bit more modern, had more of the bells and whistles in it, but simple too at the same time. Just had everything we needed, right? So we go back, you know, I just shower up real quick, you know, and like, you know, put on some dry clothes. We throw our shit in the washing machine. And it was, dude, the dryer. We should have put it in the washing machine because it all came out smelling like fucking potato chips. Because I guess we didn't actually wash them, dude. But, you know, we ended up just drying off our clothes. And then we went to Galena, I think it's Tap House or Pour House. We went last year, and it was awesome. You know, we got to see some of the same waiters and waitresses. Obviously, they're not going to recognize us, right? But it was really wholesome just to be back there and get food and, you know, kind of break bread together. And it was funny because the whole weekend, I don't know what was going on. It was Labor Day weekend, right? So maybe it wasn't terribly busy. But the whole weekend, what we kept running into was people who, so we're training like another waitress or a waiter. So, you know, we're tweaked out a little bit, right? And this lady comes over, she's like teaching her how to pour water. She's like, you always pour water off the table because in case you spill, then you just spill off the table. And you always like tap somebody on the shoulder and say, hey, you know, I'm just going to refill your water if that's okay. I'm just going to reach behind you, right? Just always communicate. And we're just sitting there like, dude. And like, you know, part of me feels like also like, you know, because we're like laughing, we're funny guys. We like to just like joke. I feel like we seem like we're a little welcoming. So I feel like people are a little bit more like, okay, we can like probably flex with these guys. They'll probably allow it, knowing that we're like tweaked out. You know what I mean? But anyway, we just had a fun time catching up, good conversation, right? Good time with the boys. And then we stopped by Walmart just to get a couple of snacks and like Gatorades and breakfast sandwiches for the day. Just because in the morning, I think it's like imperative, right? That you get something in your fucking system, even if you don't want to, right? It's just like, just get something in your system, eat a little something, and then you'll be ready for the day, right? Because if not, like, we might start drinking, you know what I mean? We might start doing the bullshit, and it's just good to have form the habit in like right away in the morning of drinking water and eating a little something. And what was nice was about this Airbnb is like they had like a Mr. Coffee machine and then also like creamer in the Airbnb. And like, you know, I had a little fucking monologue about this on one of my other podcasts where I was like, dude, if you have a coffee machine in the Airbnb, I feel like maybe you should have just some coffee shit, right? Like just like a K-cup and like, you know, it wasn't even like a bottle of creamer. It was like those little free ones, you know what I mean? So I was like, that at least helps, and some sugar and some Splenda. Just like, you know, just makes for a good time, my dude. But so that was really nice, even though it was like shitty coffee. Get a couple cups in the morning and then get you right, you know, take a fucking dookie, and then be on my way, bitch. But anyway, so our first course of the day, we play on Saturday morning, Woodbine Bend. We have like 8:20 tee time. And that course is really, really nice. It's really open. It has like a vibe, like kind of like unlike any other course. You know, the holes are right next to each other, so you have to be really careful about like slices and shit like that. But all in all, it's a really well kept course, and like what I like about it is there's not a lot of trees around, and that's not really about the golf, but more so like all the sunlight comes in, you know. Like a lot of times the trees like block the sunlight, and trees like obviously make for really beautiful golf courses, but you know, it's nice that like everything was just open. You could just see all the rolling hills and Galena and all that shit. It really made me happy, dude. And we shot 88 that day, right? So some good shots and some bad shots. So you know, we're scrambling, so we have like 3 tries at each shot. So you know, we're all generally getting better. But we were looking at the scorecard from last year. We played a lot better. I don't remember the exact score, but last year we also, you know, when our ball's in the shit, like it's in a bad spot, we pull it out. But this year we pretty much played our ball the entire time, like even out of sand, even if it was like in between trees, like I was trying to punch shots out and stuff like that. So it was really fun. I thoroughly thought that we, you know, earned our scores, you know. And everyone, you know, was nice on the course too. Like initially some people are a little bit like we always get this in Galena. Like I feel like they're a little bit standoffish because we're like, oh, these brown dudes, man, you know. But like, you know, once they realize we're just like bros, they immediately get diffused, which I think is like, you know, it's cute, and I understand where they're coming from, and I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, sorry, my fucking allergies acting up, but like I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I try to take their ignorance as just their lack of exposure, right? Versus anything offensive. Like I'm not sitting here thinking they all think I'm like a fucking ISIS terrorist or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm more so just like, yeah, these guys they might have not seen like a brown dude in a long time. Like I didn't see like another minority all weekend really. So think about it. They're there like every single day, and they're probably not seeing anybody really. So outside of white people. So it's like I get it. You know, even like my white friends I met like probably 15 years ago, they would, you know, when I first met them, even now they'll ask me some questions like, do you wear a turban? I'm just kidding, but they'll ask me questions about like my culture growing up, and you know, if you're inquisitive and not like rude about it, then I'm like, dude, by all means, you know, that's what you should do. You should ask people and be curious about things. So it's not like all this knowledge, you can't just know it, right? Like you have to find it out from somewhere. So anyway, I appreciated them. You know, they're kind people. They were mostly kind people. But other than that, so yeah, Woodbine Bend, we played that one. And then right after, we ate over at Woodbine Bend. You know, got a couple of fucking transfusions, a couple of gin and sodas, and did our fucking thing. And then we went to... so actually what was really nice was when we got in there, we ordered food. Some drunk dude at the bar, but he wasn't bothering nobody. He was like, boys, you better quit being so handsome out here. And I was like, dude, we're leaving. I promise, we're leaving soon. You know, it's just like a funny little interaction. And he's like, you guys seem like you're having a good time. I was like, dude, we're having a fucking beautiful time, mate. And you know, we're like, you know, we're out playing golf with each other. Beautiful day. Like, what more could you really ask for, right? And he's like, absolutely, I love that attitude. And that, you know, that type of little interaction, even though he might have been fucking loaded, really makes me happy. You know. So then we played Galena Golf Club right after that, and that's more of a, you know, your general public course, and it's not shitty by any means, but it's not as nice as like Woodbine Bend. But we shot another 88 there, which was really funny that we shot the same score. But like by that time we were kind of off the yard, dude. Like we were definitely like stoned out, and so and even though it was like kind of like a quote unquote easier course, you know, it just, you do what you do, baby, you know. And we were just having fun, laughing a whole bunch, and just being silly, dude. And you know, it was cool because like it's more like I said, it's more of a family type golf course. So there's a lot more like legitimate families out there. You know, there's families out there doing their thing, and you know, they're out there with their kids, and so it's more of that type of environment, which I actually appreciate. You know, especially because everyone's keeping pace for the most part. So like I can't really complain about anything. You know. Go ahead. There's this dude in front of me just acting a fool, bro. Sometimes people don't know how to fucking drive on the road, drive on the road, bitch. But anyway, so we wrap that up, and then we go back home afterwards, and we've been out all day, bro, so you can tell everyone's fucking tired as fuck. And then we go smash out on this spot called Cucina Bella, and it's like an Italian restaurant, like a Galena take on an Italian restaurant, right? So, you know, you gotta take that with a grain of salt, but it was really good food, and like, you know, their seafood is fresh because they're right by the river, you know, and so there's a lot of goodies out there that I appreciate. But I'm gonna have to hit you back with part 2 in a minute, baby. 29 jeans. Oh, don't wear a 40. Don't wear no 40. Yeah, but hold the 40. Yeah. I fucked the MILF. Yeah. I think she 40. I don't fuck the daughter. Ayy, now she my shorty. Ayy, back in the days I blow the haze and drink a 40. Anyway, that was fucking aggressive. You know what? I haven't recorded the second part of this podcast for like 2 weeks. But just been busy having a good time with life and everything like that. So no qualms at all. Was just listening to this fucking ASAP Rocky Lil Uzi Vert freestyle that I've been just playing on repeat for the past, like, I don't know, a couple of months, dude. It's just such a good freestyle, you know, like the old days of ASAP Rocky when he was just a fucking bomb-ass rapper, dude. And I like him now, man. Obviously, he's like the homie, but he's really into like fashion and stuff like that. And it's just like something like I'm not into, so it's nothing against him or his character, you know what I mean? But hey, how you doing? Yeah, I figured I'd just wrap it all up. I'm going for another little walk. What is it? Tuesday afternoon, you know, a little stroll. I've been sitting down for a couple hours on meetings and whatnot, so let me just get my ass up, start walking, and then yeah, I'm gonna go to Sierra shortly after this. I gotta get some clothes for my trip to Chile and Patagonia coming up, and you know, it's always volatile up in the mountains, so I want to have like the right gear and shit like that, and not just like my Target dry fit clothes and my random sweatshirts that I bring. So I want to just go prepare for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick off the second half of the trip. So you know, the next day, you know, we come back home from Cucina Bella, and I don't know if I already mentioned this, but you know, it's so interesting to see, like, you know, my buddy that I went with, we were 2 buddies, and he was always the one that was up late, fucking never letting us sleep, and I love that, right? He was always keeping us going. And dude, now that he's a dad, bro, he's just a sleepy guy, and it's so heartwarming and endearing to see, dude. You know, like we would be just watching TV, me and my other buddy, and he's just like passed out, and we're just like, holy shit, you know. And it's just really adorable to see this guy like grow into this man that he is today. But we're still having fun, like we were boys back in the day. So this all around wholesome vibes. But other than that, so we wake up the next morning. We have an 8 a.m. tea time. So I get my ass up at like 5:36, get some coffee in. We get some more breakfast sandwiches in, and we're playing at the Eagle Ridge courses today. Some of the best, probably the best set of courses I've ever played in my entire life. Just majestic, you know. So hard to describe, but just absolutely fucking beautiful, mate. And that's all I got for you. So we play the Eagle Ridge North course, and that course is just immaculate, dude. It is just fucking really nice, okay? So my buddy's like, okay, so we got our bullshit out on the day before, right? It's 8 a.m. Really no warm-up. Just kind of get there. We're like, all right, let's fucking get it. And so we go set up. It's like, dude, it was like $400-something for 3 of us, so it's like over $100 at tee time. So fortunate to be able to do that, right? So we get up on the tee box, we're getting ready to go. We allow ourselves a breakfast ball, but I hit both my balls in the same fucking spot, which worked out. Okay, so I'm gonna say that. Good drive off the tee. And my buddy is like, he's like, okay, we're not gonna drink today. Right away he comes out with like 3 transfusions. I'm like, I guess we're fucking doing it, dude, you know? So our first hole, we parred up, man. And we're playing just good golf, like par and bogey golf, okay? And there's all these rolling hills, these beautiful lakeside par 3s. The weather is just great. The course is so hilly and challenging, but we're planning our shots. We're picking our shots really well. And I'm just really excited, you know, to just play that course and go through it. And all of us are playing halfway decent golf, which I really, really love, you know? And just to see us in our journey, and like, you know, we're still relatively young, so we can still get better at golf, you know? And that makes me just fucking feel great. So we're drinking, having some fun, playing good golf. And we're going through the courses. And there's something about it, like my allergies are just fucking me up hard, dude. But I'm still having just a great time, you know, smoking a joint here and there, but try not to get too inebriated, because I really want to be like I don't know, the most reliable in this scramble that we're playing right now. You know, like I want to be the one whose shot we use, and it's not a competition. It's just I want to be good at golf. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to play well and all that, man. And so we get to this course. And we're on the 18th hole now, right? We make our way through. We're playing really well. Pars, bogeys, that's it. And we get to the last hole, and I fucking bomb this drive, right? And I think it was the front 9 or something like that. Like I bombed this drive, and maybe it's not the last hole, but anyway, I thought it went into the street, right? But it landed in a perfect spot, like really close to the hole. So that was our first shot, right? And then we hit one that I hit my 6-iron, like right on the fringe of the green, right? And so I gotta get a chip in there, right? And just like 2-putt, right? But the green was so fucking huge. So, you know, the chip that we hit wasn't like far enough. So we ended up 2-putting on the green and coming in for bogey, I believe, right? On like a par 4 or 5. And so I was sitting there like, because you know why? If we parred that last hole, then we would have scored 79. And together as a scramble, we've never broken 80. But we landed right at 80 on the last hole, and I was like, fuck, man. But you know what? That is just such a good testament to like how we can get shit done, bro. Like it takes people 5 to 10 years to even break 90 or break 100, right? And we're like talking about breaking 80 here. I've like shot 84 by myself before on a really good day, and I'm just sitting there like, this is phenomenal, dude. You know, we all kind of kept concentration. We were all like having fun but locking in at the same time, which was, I don't know, I was just like elated by it, right? So we wrap that course up, and then we go over. We have like a little bit of time now, and we go eat some lunch at the General, like the clubhouse. I just get like a club sandwich, and then my buddy gets some salmon. Another buddy gets like a little pizza, and we just smash out. And that's kind of like the issue there, dude. Is like, you know, when it comes to eating or stopping, it kind of slows me down, right? But so we get to the first tee box, and I kind of fuck up both my drives, right? But we end up parring the first hole, and we start making our way through, and I'm starting to hit good drives. I'm starting to hit fucking bangers, man. But we're playing like a little bit shittier, just a little bit shittier than we played at the North course. And this course, the General, is probably the most majestic course I have ever seen in my life, dude. Like, there'd be a par 3 where the tee box is up on a hill, and there's a whole entire ravine in between the tee box and the green. And like if you hit your ball into that ravine, you're completely just like fucked. Like you're not getting that. It's like a fucking cliff, right? The cart path has speed bumps on it, so that, you know, it's like, dude, you're going uphill, downhill, you're hitting blind tee shots, like what it feels like off a mountain. And it just feels like almost like scary. It's like breathtaking, you know, when you get up there. And to me, I was just, I don't know, I was in awe of the way that course was put together, right? So we get to the front 9, playing pretty well, right? And the back 9, like, you know, my boy stopped to go get some drinks, and we wait like 15 minutes because like of whatever, right? My buddy forgot his shoes and this and that, and I feel like I lost a little bit of like my power, my steam, and so I you know, the second tee box was like in front of the clubhouse, man. I just went up and hit 2 terrible fucking shots, you know, but you know, it's like, what are you gonna do, dude? You know, there's people watching, and I just was like kind of full and everything like that. And so it's just bound to happen. Some fuck shit's bound to happen. So I'm not gonna complain about it at all. But my buddies started playing really well, right? So they picked up the slack, which is good. And that's why I love the scramble, dude. And so we make our way through the course, and it's like, what, 6:30 by the time we get done. And what's really nice about that is like we actually shot like I think it was 88. And which is not bad at all, because on the day before, like both courses, we shot 88. So that's actually playing pretty well, like I'd say. So, and for that course to be as hard as it was, and for us to shoot 88, fucking beautiful, mate. And so we get done, and we were like, maybe we'll go play another 9. But I was like, dude, let's just go home, man. So we get done, and we just like hug each other, man. We're just like, bro, what a sick fucking trip to have in the books right now, man. That was crazy. And so we end up, wrapping it all up. I smoke a joint in the parking lot, get ready for like the 2.5 hour ride home. And I get home by like 8:30, which is nice. It would have been nice to stay there one more night, because we had Monday off. But, my buddy's got a kid, and he had to get home to his kid. And we're like, hey, man, if we could just make 2 nights work, then 2 nights it is, bro, right? I'll take any time I can get with the homies. And, like I always say, something about golf with my 2 buddies right here is something special, right? I realize that more and more. The more I interact with people, the more I, get closer to other friend groups. I'm like, dude, this is not like, not to be witty, this is not par for the course, right? This is not how it always works in friend groups, man. Like, a lot of people aren't willing to commit like this. A lot of people aren't willing to, like, just be there for each other or always be looking out for each other. And the fact that we do that is, I think, something to, like, cherish, man. We just have a good time. And, as we get older and things like that, it'll be just, we got to savor these moments, right? Because they don't always happen. They happen actually less and less as people go deeper into their own experiences. But what I'm really happy about is that, this little group here is that we make each other a priority, and that to me, it means the world, because for someone to make me a priority in their life, man, that's like one of the biggest honors I have, man. And I hope it continues to be that way. But if not, we'll rock it out. We'll do what we gotta do. But I'm just enjoying like this golf journey with my boys, and it seems like everyone loves it. Everyone can commit to maybe like a 4-hour excursion. I'm going golfing again with my buddy Samuel this Friday. I'll spend some time with him, get a little weird. And then Sunday I'm going with my wife and my 2 best friends. It's like, bro, what more can I fucking ask for? Beautiful fall weather out here. It's just, I'm blessed, man. So I'll leave it right there. There's my Galena trip, and we'll run it back. Got a few fun guests coming up, a few fun travels coming up. So there's going to be a lot more coming. And if anybody wants to hop on with me, dude, like, let's chop it up. Let's find some time. Because I don't know, just conversing with people makes me feel great. Hearing their perspectives and their stories makes me feel just so grateful to be doing what I'm doing. So much love, fam. Remember, only positivity. Feel free to leave me any feedback. Thanks, fam. Much appreciated.